Hi everyone, we're live with Top Clack.
Are we though? Are we really?
Let me know if you guys hear me okay, because I changed a lot of my things in my setup recently, so you might not be able to hear me okay, or you might hear me better. I don't know. And let me know
Yeah,
about Brian
I'm
too.
expecting some kind of audio error.
I'm expecting just a ton of errors because I like redid my computerino like the other day.
You sound great, Huey. Apparently, I sound
Thanks,
awful.
guys.
So I don't know.
Touch quiet in comparison to the Quakums. That's per the norm.
Well,
I mean.
I'm a very aggressive talkist.
Well, my man Mart, thanks for the tier 1 sub, second month in a row. Thanks for that. Yeah, looks like we are hunky dory, all's good in the hood. This week on Top Clack, oh man, we have so much news. It's like as soon as winter left us, everyone's like, the spring rush is here. Let's do X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, all the above.
Yep.
Which we'll be
Lots
getting
of cool
to.
things.
Yeah. We'll be getting to how that starts pretty soon, but let's kick it off with our little intro thing.
Intro thing.
Should I make a new one?
What? No, this one's gold, man.
I mean, maybe we should make an outro then.
Yes, definitely an outro.
Yeah, outro. Hope everyone is happy to join us today. I'm happy to be here today. How are you doing today, Brian?
I am fantastic as always. Love Thursdays. Love Top Clack.
Awesome.
Repping the shirt. Duh.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, like you said, we do have a fair amount of news today, some pretty good stuff. And later on, we will be having Cassidy Williams on the show. She is the designer for the new Scrabble set that's out on Massdrop currently. Very interesting set. She's interesting for a lot of other reasons too, but we will get to that later. So, yeah, look forward to
You
that.
got some mail today, didn't you, Brian?
I got
Anything interesting you could share with us?
I got several things lately.
I don't
So,
know.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know if you can share one of the things yet.
Oh.
I think you can share the other. I think you can share the stuff I.
Well, I didn't get that anyway.
You didn't get it complete.
Wait, yeah, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Well, I got a few new things to try. We got Huey and I both got some sorbothane. This is kind of like a silencing material that's been gaining maybe a little bit of popularity in the community. It feels a lot like rubber, like kind of like a soft rubber. Using this to silence boards could be cool. The only problem is it's like $15 and you only get enough to use on like, probably smaller than a TKL.
Smaller than the TKL.
So that's kind of a bummer in comparison to a lot of other value options. But we'll figure that out. See if it's actually worth it. I haven't opened this box yet, but got an ultrasonic cleaner. That could be pretty cool. Wash some caps and switches. Because clean switches and caps are happy switches and caps. And you might also know I'm wearing some new headphones. Got a pair of Shure SE 215s in the mail today. I needed some IEMs because I've used like $8 IEMs for like my entire life. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend like $70 and get something okay.
Oh, man.
And then I will not share the other thing that I got because I can't yet. or didn't get, because it's kind of funny. I was supposed to get something and I didn't.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah.
got a macro lens for my camera. So that's pretty good stuff. I can take some more interesting pictures and
get some
work
awesome,
better on my lube and stab guys coming out soon.
Crispy shots for Stab Lab, huh?
Only the crispiest for Top Clack, please.
The good stuff. Well, let's get started with the news because we have a lot of news today.
Yeah, we need to go through
a lot.
This stuff.
A lot. Okay, let's start it off with a group buy. This is for GMK Doom over on Cartel for $145 plus shipping and handling. It's a gray on black set, basically. ABS, of course, as is GMK. Ending in this really cool timer down below, 21 days, 15 hours, 55 minutes, and 5 seconds.
Okay. I am not opposed to the colorway.
No, I'm not either.
I like the name.
Doom.
Is this supposed to be a reference to like Doom the video game? Oh no, I'm reading it now.
You should
totally
read
not.
it, yeah.
Okay.
Hip hop,
My apologies.
mad villainy, MF Doom, my dude. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I mean, I was to a degree out of their control, but I wish it was slightly cheaper. But
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of one of the problems you run into when you're. I mean, no offense to Cartel. If I'm remembering correctly, those are pretty cool guys over there. I'm trying to remember exactly who it is, but
Tiny and a few other folks.
it's Tiny and someone else. I like Tiny; he's a cool dude. Yeah, when you're a vendor that's maybe not quite as established, not quite as known, then it's a lot harder to reach a lot of GMK like MOQs. So in turn, you have to have more expensive sets to actually be able to pay for the lower MOQs, and it sucks, but it's just the way it is.
You know what's a bit disappointing?
What?
The lack of renders on keyboards.
Like, yeah, isn't one of their guys like a render specialist?
Like, I mean, there are plenty of interest checks with plenty of renders. Yet they don't have like a render on their site. They probably have it on the Geekhack thread, but
yeah, I mean, the very first thing you see on this page is a render on what it looks to be an M65, yes. But I mean, there's GMK Doom logo covering up.
Let's see if they have it on the main sites, because Cartel is the proxy, the North American proxy. That's why we cover them. But let's see for their caps unlocked is the people actually running it. Let's see if they have. Okay, they have renders, a single render.
All right, so definite lack of renders. Oh well.
It's $171 over on Caps Unlocked, who's the main runner, but they're over in Europe land.
Yeah, so something to actually note here is that the euro to USD conversion isn't quite as nice right now. It wasn't terribly long ago that the euro and the USD were like almost 1-to-1. And now it's not quite so nice on the European side, so we kind of get screwed a little bit, and that's part of why a lot of GMK sets that are coming out like right now are a little bit more expensive than we're kind of used to seeing, because once you do the conversion, we lose money.
Yeah.
Be bad.
So if you're from North America, get from the US proxy, Cartel. Yeah. Other than that, I like the set. I don't know if I want to commit funds to it now, but maybe in the future, like for round 2, or if someone can sell it to me on the cheap aftermarkets.
Yeah, there's other sets I need in my life sooner than this one.
Yeah, and one of them is the set we'll be talking about next, from the Queen of Rose Gold herself. GMK Olivia is launching on Novelkeys, who is one of our partners. This set is a set that was filled with renders on plenty of keyboards.
Yep, awesome renders, pretty darn good looking set. Obviously being run on our partners over at Novelkeys, which is always cool. Designed by Olivia, who is very active top Clack supporter and community member, so love that as well. That aside, I do have a pretty serious problem with this set that I didn't even notice until last night. Someone pointed it out to me, and I was like, wow, that's actually kind of a deal breaker for me. So if you notice, and maybe you were blind like I was, there are no alpha colored spacebars in the base kit. So if you want the what I'm going to call the proper spacebar, because almost everybody opts to use the alpha colored spacebar when they use a GMK set. Most people do. If you're one of those people like me. Yes, and I that's me too. I don't use mod color spacebars, and I don't use accents. I just don't on 9009 whatever. I do not use the other stuff. I don't care. So like I need that alpha colored spacebar, and like I can't afford spending $45 on the extras kit just to get that spacebar. I really do think it should be part of the base kit, and it's a really 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 big bummer that it's not, in my opinion. But yeah, I definitely wanted to bring that up. And I'd like to get chat's opinion too. Is this like the way to go about it, or should have the white space bars been part of the base kit? Like I think they should be.
I think it should have been swapped. I think white space bars should have been a part of base, rose gold a part of the extras. And here's the actual like what is the quote unquote correct reasoning. Your space bar is an alpha key. It doesn't
inputs the character.
modify. It's a alpha key. Therefore, it should be the same color as the alpha. That's why that pipe backslash key between backspace and enter is alpha colored. That's why your tilde is alpha colored, because those are also alpha keys, even though it's not perfectly symmetrical as some people would like. Alpha keys have the alpha color.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm going to get both the base and extras, but I still think it should have been base alpha space bars for the base, and then give the accent space bars to the extras kit.
Yeah, like I agree. I agree with people saying that the space bar, that particular accent space bar color is important. It does make for the set. I agree with that, but I also don't think you should be forced into it with the base set. You should always have the most popular option. We have never seen a GMK space set not have. Sorry, mixing my words up. We've never seen a GMK key set in the past that did not offer the alpha colored spacebar. And that's why when I looked at the original GMK render for GMK Olivia, it didn't even dawn on me. I just expect that. That's the kind of compatibility that should be in every GMK base set. Every single one of them should always have an alpha colored spacebar because that's what is used the most. I love having options. I think it's awesome to have accents, and if you want, mod colored space bars, that too, more power to you. But those are not the majority of people that use those. They're just not. So I think it's kind of unfair. I'm not entirely sure what the thought process was here. I asked Mike of Novelkeys about it, and he said Olivia was in full control of what keys were in the set, and he's just running the set. And I haven't talked directly to Olivia about this yet, so maybe I can get a comment from her at some point. But as much as I like the set, as much as I like Olivia, and as much as I like Novelkeys, I think that spacebar issue is an absolute fail. Give me the freaking normal spacebars in the base kit, and if I want the accents, let me buy the accents then. Or just include both and up the price by like $5 on the base kit. I'll pay it. I don't know, man. But I can't pay $45 for a space bar, which is all I would use out of the extras kit. And I shouldn't have to use a space bar from another GMK set also, which you obviously can. I think there are a couple sets that use the same one.
CP, which is the GMK whites, well, the one of the whites they have. So it does exist in other GMK sets, but yeah, I definitely feel you there.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to. Oblasti says Quakeum's triggered. You're damn right I am. This is as someone that only uses alpha colored spacebars, it really does trigger me. And as also someone that's incredibly broke. It's gonna be hard enough for me to afford GMK to Olivia to begin with. I can't afford the extras with it. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Anyways. Sorry for that rant, but I spent hours last night racking my brain over why this was a thing. And in the past, on keyboards in particular, we see people do very like exclusive things where like on the Zephyr, for example, on the Zeal Zephyr group buy, the bottom row is one way and one way only, the way he wanted it. And you could also argue that case for Olivia here, but I also wouldn't compare, a key set to a keyboard in this scenario. But that's just me. Anyways, moving on from there. Sorry, guys, I wasn't trying to.
But for the rest of it, $140 base kit. We got the extras for the extra $45. So with shipping on top, and depending on where you are taxed, probably looking at around $190 to $200-ish shipped. If you want all of GMK Olivia, otherwise it's $140 plus tax shipping. I mean, yep. I'm getting both. It's gonna.
I'm still gonna get the set because I like the set, and I probably will just pull a space bar from another set. I just shouldn't have to do that. Some other notes: the GB will run until April 28th, so about a month away. And there is a collaboration with Rama for EXO Olivia caps that are supposed to be kind of like a rose gold accent that should be matching perfectly for this set. So pretty cool stuff there. Obviously, we love Rama here, and he does some great stuff. Glad to see that collaboration happening.
Yeah.
And And also, a side note, because this is usually the case on Novelkeys group buys, don't add anything else to your cart
Do not.
when you join this group buy, other than the Rama Exo keycaps, if you're getting those, because this is a group buy. Everything else, if you order something else that he has that's in stock, he'll just cancel it because it's you can't split an order between in stock and group buy stuff. So make sure you're doing 2 separate orders if that's the case. Hell yeah. All right. Next key set in the dock, we have SA Song. I actually haven't seen this yet.
Okay. It's a set.
Wow.
I'll say that.
Wow, these novelties though. Oh, Song Dynasty.
Yes.
Okay.
Historical influence.
Yeah, so not song as in like
music.
A musical song. Got it. Very interesting. I like that. I actually love these novelties. I don't really care for the colorway, but I like the novelties.
Novelties are nice. Colorway, I'm meh about. Compatibility is a bit horrid.
That like calligraphy brush backspace is so next level. Sorry, I love this. This is great. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
The group buy is going on. It's kind of pricey though. I mean.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for the manufacturer. Is it Max Keys?
I don't think it's Max. It's Signature Plastics SP SA Song.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Look at the price though. For 50 sets, $235 each. Even if we go all the way to 150 sets, it goes down to $177 dollars.
Well, okay, but this is all one kit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Which is really, really uncommon for a Signature Plastics SA set. Usually, you have the breakdown of a lot of kits.
Yeah.
At 150 sets, I actually think the price is okay here. It's about on point with what we've seen in the past for SA Signature Plastics sets. Because look, usually for a Signature Plastics SA set, you pay about $100 and you get enough to fit a standard TKL. That'll be like base plus novelties, or not novelties. Base plus mods. Yes. So here, not only do you get a lot more compatibility for slightly more non-standard layouts, you also get all the novelties. So for an extra $77, you get, your 7. You get a bunch of space bars, you get a bunch of novelties, and you get a bunch of compatibility for stepped caps, Sangon bottom row, split shift, split backspace, stuff like that. And yeah, so I actually think at 150 sets, at $177, I think the price is okay here. I am definitely not.
I think the real reason anyone should want this set would be those novelties. I think those are like the real make it or break it for this set.
Yeah, I kind of just want to use that backspace on like everything. For no reason.
But yeah, that is that.
Yep, the possible production date is in October of 2018 and expected to ship the month after.
The month after.
Let's talk about that for a second. How logical do we think that is? Because we've known the SAQ has been backed up for eternity. So
give or take.
Is it actually caught up so well that it can ship a month after the order is placed? Or
orders gonna be placed in April. Orders gonna be placed in April.
Okay. So that makes a lot more sense. Orders placed April 5th.
The order time, the group buy is from now till April 5th. So why would they just hold the money? It's gonna be placed in April.
Yeah, fair enough. I read that wrong. So yeah, that's about a 5-month stretch. Are we that low? Because last I heard, it still takes like a year.
Maybe they've got their shit together.
I don't know. Maybe a block.
They put it in a bag, maybe in a backpack, and they got it all together in the same place, and they're just pumping out sets now.
Okay.
So
yeah, Blotsky said. Yeah, Blotsky, the SA lover, is saying that this is probably pretty possible. Okay, fair enough. Good stuff.
Good
Make
stuff
sure you
indeed.
show interest in that if you're into that kind of thing, and pick up a set.
Speaking of things people might be interested in, I think you'll like this colorway, Brian, because it's very, very simple. It's an interest check for GMK 40K, which is inspired by Warhammer 40K. Very, very
Uh,
simple. Just an off-white, slightly off-white and dark gray, I believe. N9 for Legends, T9 for Keycaps. Working on Novelkeys,
I
probably.
I don't. I need renders
Yeah,
before I
I
know.
need renders. I mean, I like the theme of 40K. It's a sci-fi universe I quite enjoy. But yeah, there's not really any like
Because
things.
what's the difference between this and like Honeywell based on this render?
But we'll see. I mean, this is just a thing that exists at the moment as an idea.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see them develop it more.
It is an interest check, so that's fair. But we've been so spoiled with interest checks lately, having like gobs of info and like prototypes and like professionally done renders. At that point, it's like holy crap. So like it kind of sucks to go back to see something like this, which has like really not very much info and no renders.
Back to 2016 interest checks right here.
For real, for real.
Okay, let's go move on to another interest check, though. This next one is for another GMK set for a GMK Fate for you weebs like me, weebs with keebs. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Alpine Winter, but with yellow accents.
I was thinking that too. Actually, when someone first showed me this, I was like, it's like Alpine Winter meets Skeletor.
Hey, there's a render, too, done on KB Renders.
Hey, that's much better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much better than nothing.
Crazy.
Really.
Crazy.
Okay. I'm okay with the colorway.
Some
Seems pretty
novelty
nice.
ideas down below as well. It's based off Saber from Fate series, if no one has any clue what that is.
Yeah, actually, even though I'm a weeb, I haven't actually watched this series yet because I was waiting for like the rest of it to finish. But yeah, of course, in an interest check format, so make sure to show your interest if you're into this set.
Olivia, thank you for the sub. 5 months in a row.
Montharinos.
Yes. That was awesome. Yeah, this is a set. I feel okay about it. It's funny how they want to do GMK, but they're like, here are the SP color chips I'm going to use for a GMK set.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even notice that. Huh.
Yeah.
Strange. It's a nice looking set.
Speaking of sets that I thought was really overrated, but I know people love it, and it's going to be coming back. Intercheck for the next round of GMK Terminal. Round 2, Intercheck, is here. It's going to be a thing. To people who missed out on round 1, rejoice. Round 2 is going to be a thing. You can get your green on black fix. Terminal.
Yeah. I was also in the, I guess, the minority of people, and I didn't really care very much for the set, but I know it was like insanely hyped. It was all over Reddit after it shipped. So obviously, very popular set. People liked it. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right, but I mean, they wanted to offer it at the same price as last time, $159. There's some new things,
and they had to remove some of the keys from the base set to shave down the cost. So this is that conversion rate between the euro and USD, like I was talking about earlier. Starting to see that in effect here as well.
Yeah, the group buy is going to be going live next Friday, actually, so that's going to be exciting to see how many numbers it's going to hit. I know there's quite a bit of people who are really bummed they missed round 1, especially after seeing the flood of picks hit RMK. So, new things. Ergo Kit, now Ortho Linear, includes keys for Ergodox as well as boards for Plank, Prionic, Contra, and etc. So the Ergo kit's kind of like an all-in-one for people who do split and people who do ortho. That's actually, I think that's a great compromise to get both of those communities to bring a price for a kit lower. Unfortunately, no minivan support. RIP.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta pick your battles.
Sometimes you gotta pick your battles. There's the alt mod pack, which there's all green mods if you like that option, which is the reverse green with like gray or black legends. New international kit that's gonna be mimicking 9009. They're probably gonna do it through the EU proxy because who in America is getting international kits? Like, let's be real. We're America. We're America.
Yep. So tentatively, the GB is going live on April 6th. So pretty short IC. I think he's pretty confident he's just going to run it because it's going to sell most likely.
Sell.
So,
it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's just going to happen. So, you know, little reason for this IC besides just like hyping something up because, you know, he posted this on Mech Market of all places, which is fine. But usually it's less of an audience there, and it still had 150 points with like 97% upvoted. So really successful post. Obviously, people want to see this.
So that's a lot of keycap news. Are you ready for some keyboard
let's talk about keyboards?
News? I want to talk about
keyboards.
keyboards.
Are more exciting.
This first one I think is pretty interesting. This is for Quantrix Extra Premium. QXP 60%, and I'm gonna click on that Imager album for y'all so we can look through these pics. Brian, what are we looking at? This is
I mean, in this album, it's looking like a pretty nice looking high profile 60%. This is the full win keyless design. I really like this actually. I think the curves are just kind of my style. The bottom is actually really reminiscent of the E6 bottom in terms of how that side profile is from that angle. I don't know. I'm digging this. It's simple. Looks like it has a pretty substantial weight on it. You know, I think it's fantastic.
So Brian, do you appreciate the curve? I think that's what it comes down to for the 60%. The curve. Look at that side profile. You see. Are you a man of curves?
Actually, I have my E6 right here next to me. The E6 is really similar in terms of the bottom. So it has that kind of like slant on the side, but it does flatten out like right past the corner there. So really similar to that IMO, and I love it there. Yeah. So I kind of love it here. The top, if you look at like the top down angles, it reminds me a lot of like a TX 87 or TX like 60. TKL or TX. Not even the 60, because the 60 actually has like a little bit different of a design. It reminds me a lot more of the TX TKLs or the TX 75, which kind of have that like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like the top piece is smaller than the bottom piece. So the bottom piece flares out more. I'm okay with that. I like this. This is a winner for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this one turns out, to be honest. I mean, there's an Intercheck forum. Check out that forum if you have a chance. I mean, he already has a prototype.
Already has a prototype for the IC, man. Feels good.
Yeah. Which is kind of odd because he has a prototype, but he's not like willing to discuss, at least from this OP post, pricing yet. I feel like if you have the prototype, you kind of have an idea of, you can start forming an idea of manufacturing scale. But I guess he wants more input, which I think we should all give more input. So check out the Intercheck forum if you have a chance, because I think it's going to be hunky dory.
Heck yes. I'm excited to see this hopefully go to a group buy phase.
Yes. Speaking of things will for sure hit the group buy phase, but may hit your wallet a lot harder, is this next keyboard, which is the LZ-CLS-MS. We don't have a render, but we can have a good idea of how it looks like because we've seen plenty of LZ boards before. He's doing a classic 65%, as he's calling it. Option for mini blocker, 1U blocker, or no blocker. a big brass weight, natural on the back. You can have your plate in aluminum, stainless steel, polycarbonate, or a carbon fiber plate, which I think is a really cool option. Aluminum top and bottom, of course, and it's the classic LZ look, the CLS look.
Okay. So I'm expecting this automatically to cost over $500.
I'm thinking $450 plus 4.4% PayPal fee plus $55 EMS.
Yeah. So you're going to be looking at about $540 to $550 out the door.
Before switches, stabs, all
kit.
that.
Yeah. So LZ, obviously very successful keyboard designer in the community. People love his designs. People love his boards. But they come at a pretty hefty premium. So if your wallets are as fat or fatter than I am, then maybe this is one of the boards for you. I still am not sold on 65% layout. I don't think it looks as good as 60%, so I generally pass this kind of stuff up. Not like I could afford it anyways, but pretty simple design. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're moving on to the Kylin 60%. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
And unlike the other boards we've covered, this one is in the group buy phase now. It is done by KP Republic, who last major group buy we covered was the one that had that silly LED in the front where you can like customize a logo showing out. If you remember that one.
Oh man. Oh, that one was so weird, man.
So this is a new project. The Kylin. It has arrows, as we have a disdain for on 60%.
Yeah, but KP Republic is a Chinese-based company, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they are.
So obviously that's a lot more common in their area. A lot of 60% users like and use and need those arrow keys, unlike a lot of the Western users for 60%. So
they're calling it a group buy, but in truth, it's a pre-order because they have the set price, $74.9 US. And they say the case doesn't have any MOQ. Just freely submit your order, and when it arrives at the end of May, they'll ship it.
All right. So what is this $75 price point get you? Is that just the case?
I don't know. I think it's just the case. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are some pictures here, but not really a ton. It looks like that's probably just kind of an engraved logo or something on the bottom. Probably not a weight, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like it's just a KP logo. Oh well. Case still looks okay. It looks reasonably high profile, if not maybe towards like more of a mid profile.
Well, I would say mid profile, based on the shadows of those caps.
It has this little acrylic kind of diffuser thing towards the front that helps it diffuse out the front, which is kind of interesting. I don't think we've ever really seen that before. Usually they're towards the back or only on the sides.
The Tina also has a front diffuser.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought that one was back as well. My bad. So this one a little bit more towards your R's, G's, and B's. It looks like that price includes shipping fee. It says $75 including shipping fee. So pretty cool there.
So if you go through the album on the top part, the top album, there's some interesting pictures of the sides. It kind of has like a folded look to it. If you go through, not the bottom pictures, but you actually click on like that small one, and then has like of 15 pictures. If you look from like 8 and beyond, it looks pretty interesting. It does have a diffuser toward you as well.
Man, yeah, that is a interesting kind of aesthetic on the bottom. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe that. You said folded, but I don't even know if that's properly
layered. But I kind of like how they look. I just throw like a standard 6% plate and PCB in.
Yeah, this is effectively just like another drop-in kind of case, which is fine. Actually, check out picture 14.
Yes.
So this is kind of strange. Like if you look towards the top, like where the backspace key is, it looks very high profile. But if you look down at the bottom where the arrow key is, it looks medium profile at best.
At best.
So yeah, like this could just be a play with like the angle and maybe the caps aren't down all the way or something, or this could be totally true to the final product, which would really be bad because that would look really bad.
It would just look bad. Damn.
Yeah,
But
that would
I
just
like the style of that sides and the bottoms with those folds or whatever you want to call them, origami as some people in chat are saying, or accordion. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, accordion.
I like
okay.
that tucked away diffuser towards you so it doesn't blind you, but on your desk get a cool diffused effect as well as the one in front.
Oh man! In picture 4 of 15, you can also see that kind of same low profile, high profile effect. Maybe that's actually how it is.
I think that's how it is.
And that's really unfortunate.
The worst part.
It's really, really unfortunate. So if that's true, I gotta give this the stamp of disapproval, unfortunately, because that kind of inconsistency shouldn't exist. I don't even think that's like a design point either. It's just like kind of silly.
Yup.
But hey, another very budget-friendly 60% case enters the market, nonetheless. So maybe you're into that, maybe you're not.
Speaking of silly things, have you seen this intercheck for the Duck TC-V3? So I'm gonna go to the first KBD Labs link that was posted from this Geekhack thread. Look at this layout, my dude. Like,
yeah, this is
Duck.
this is
what?
a
What? Duck what? I mean, I can actually, doing a lot of photo and video editing nowadays, I can actually understand how I personally would enjoy all of those keys, except there's two major issues with this. One, it's a Duck PCB. Two, it's a Duck PCB. Like, all those extra keys would be great if you could easily programmable, if they were easily programmable, but Duck Boards uses OTD, which is bad. Just, OTD is bad.
It's O2D, right?
O2D.
Yeah.
O2D.
Yeah, OTD is
an old designer. It's O2D is the programmer, and it's just bad. If you want arrow keys on O2D, you either change your system settings to Korean. That's how bad it is. That's how bad.
Which is, this is kind of funny because duck boards have been around the Western community like for a long time now. They are like, I mean, whether you love them or hate them, they are like the premier Korean board in the Western community. There have been so many duck group buys and like so many different designs that you think at this point they'd have like a better PCB.
And not only is it poor and programmable unless you port it to QMK. Like I know a lot of people in chat are saying,
which is a very new thing. Let's be real here. Like that's still like a very recent thing, and that's like it's not like 100% done yet for like every duck board. But it is good that it's happening. But it's silly that we have to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he I can't use QMK. Come on, man.
Let's be real, guys. Come on.
Yeah, they should hit up winkeyless.kr, another Korean brand, and be like, "Yo, let me get some B faces for this or whatever, or, some winkeyless.kr PCBs." Poop Africa, baby.
Poop Africa, my dude. That'll be more realistic than QMK getting a good GUI. Let's be real. Pew pew pew.
Maybe.
I hope you guys take that as a challenge and make an amazing QMK GUI.
Me too. Yeah, so this is still an interest check, but
this board is crazy. But there's parts of it I like. I like it, how it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this falls under the category for me of like it's so like different that it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a bit out there though.
Speaking of things that are pretty good, have you seen the price on the Kira? On Kickstarter, run by Impa Club, one of our awesome partners. Already, in under a week, they've achieved almost 4 times their Kickstarter goal. They're at $194,796 of their original asking of $50,000.
I dig it. Love it.
And why are they at so much? Let's go with not the early bird backing, but the normal pricing, okay? Let's go to the 179. 179 is your base Kira. You get a fully assembled board, your choice of switches, which there's a decent amount of choices. You get the silver frame, which is made of injection molded plastic. You get keycaps, complete board. And you know what? The silver injection molded cases look pretty good.
They actually do look like
they look amazing.
really good. Yeah, when I asked for Impa Club for a picture of it, like originally a while back, and like they sent me one, I was like, "Is that the plastic version?" He was like, "It's probably good that you couldn't figure it out." And I was like, "Yeah, that actually makes sense."
Yeah,
like it looks like aluminum to me. So,
and if you want the aluminum top ring, it bumps you up to $260 for the kit with switches. If you don't want switches with your Kira for some reason, it goes down $10, which basically is like $10 for a board of switches. Sounds kind of cool, especially when you can get all the Hako switches. You can get the Royals even.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's Type C.
It's $10. Yeah, the $10 difference. The difference there is it's kit versus built and switches versus non. That's still aluminum either way. But I mean, still we have to address the early bird specials. So you do save a little bit of money either way you go if you order anytime soon. I don't know actually when the early bird thing ends, but right now
they're all claimed already. They're all claimed.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they had like a certain amount. Like I know a lot of people were waiting to get the early bird, but then they didn't know to actually get in. You had to make a Kickstarter account. So while they were making their account, all the early birds got taken. That's how quick. Man. Like for under 5 minutes. So the whole board, let's go through the specs. This is pretty cool. Per key RGB lighting, because everyone knows it's all about the R's, G's, and B's these days, okay? The RGB is underlit. Die subbed PBT keycaps. Nice.
Cherry profile.
Cherry profile.
They don't actually mention that, but it is the best profile, thankfully.
Fully programmable. The other day, I was playing around with their local GUI client that you can download to your computer. I was programming around on my K-type, and that was amazing. It's like second to Bootmapper client in easiness, ease of use. It was that I could use it. That's how easy and amazing it was. USB-C, because as we always say, USB-C is the future, and hot swappable, which is a feature I'm kind of slowly starting to like because no soldering needed. You just pop switches in, pop switches out.
Those sockets are pretty cool.
Switches go in, switches go out. Can't explain that. Yes, you can. Hot swap switches.
Good job, Huey.
Thanks.
And of course, it is the high-profile design, which we love. That was something we weren't a fan of on the K-type, but it's being redeemed here. Pretty cool. You got USB-C as well, so Impa Club is always trying to push as many features as possible for a low price, and I think this is kind of a winner in that regard. Love it.
Love that.
Love that. So make sure you hop on this soon.
I'm pretty excited to get my hands on these one of these days. Hopefully sooner than later. We want to definitely, give you guys an honest take on this board. I feel like there's some issues I might have with it that I'm formulating in my head, but that could be me finding a reason to be a hater because haters gotta hate, but haters gotta potate.
Hey man, first and foremost, we are an information and education targeted show with unbiased, neutral opinions. So, I mean, that's kind of how we work. That's why we like checking things out, so we can, report back to the community.
Yeah. So, if you guys haven't backed this project yet, get on it. This is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be shipping this fall, so it's gonna be possibly a nice birthday gift for me when that time comes around.
Someone needs to buy one of these. Is what are you gonna get? Just kidding.
805 people have backed it already. This is pretty big. This is pretty big. Yeah, it's pretty big.
Good for them.
But speaking of things that are pretty big, this next project. We've covered this before, but I want to cover just one quick touch about it. The M0110. I have one message that Janglad has asked me to share with everyone here about the M0110. Other than check out this page here, the one message I want to share that Janglad personally asked me to share is soon TM. That's all.
Okay, that's good. We've obviously been we've been waiting for this for a while. In November, we were checking out the prototype at the NorCal meetup, and it was pretty nice. There were still some things that he wanted to work on with it. he was asking people for opinions and like what they would like to see and stuff. So that wasn't Jenglad. That was the other guy in the project. Roy Jenkins, I think, is his username.
Jenkins.
He was super nice guy. He was just asking lots of people on their opinions of it and what people thought. I thought it was a really cool board. Probably not going to be terribly cheap, but that's kind of what happens when you have a board with this much going on and this much metal.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on now. Real quick, let's really quickly nail our last topics down. Next we have, so of course a lot of you know Brian and I aren't big in the QMK scene. We're a bit dummies when it comes to that kind of stuff, but we still recognize its big importance in the community. And one of the big things that's been happening is this render that Jack teased of the QMK Proton C. It's a QMK powered Pro Micro replacement for ARM and with USB-C. So it's a USB-C microcontroller with ARM, and one of the reasons that this is better than a Pro Micro is basically it has more storage, has more capacity for you to store more information on it. And it's much more user-friendly for using QMK. That's what the whole shtick is about it. And USB-C is the future. Duh.
Yeah, future.
So you should definitely check this out if you're big into QMK or big into programmable keyboards, especially if you want to hand wire your own, because something like this is probably one of the best ways to go. And you might even see pre-builts in the future, maybe having with something like this thrown in, built into the PCB basically. Jack's been doing a large amount to further programmability in the community with QMK. So check out all the QMK resources if you have a chance. It's something great, worth learning. Brian and I have a 4-hour video where Jack and Scully Dazed, who is Zach of Clue Boards, they walked dummies like us through QMK, getting the environment set up, and I flashed a Clue board. Like, they were so patient with me, but if Brian and I can technically do it, so can you. So check
Very true.
all of that stuff out when you get a chance.
Megaforce, thank you so much for the sub 7 months in a row. We appreciate that, man. You're an OG.
Mm-hmm.
OG.
So, last topic I want to cover, which I think is hilarious. It's done by Dixie Mac, who misspelled his title. He put GKK 9009. But it's a GMK 9009. Ortho and Vim kits are available. The group buy is going. But the big thing he wanted me to let you guys all know is there's a new giveaway. Teaming up with Jack, who we just mentioned, and MD Sickler, Mike from Novelkeys, a wonderful person. They're doing a giveaway for all participants who join this group buy. It'll be for an OLKB EOTW Prionic kit, which is easy on the wallet kit. It's going to have the box royal switches, have a set of the GMK 9009.
Wow, that's a sick giveaway.
Heck yeah. So that's
pretty
going to be awesome. So if you're joining in for those things, either for the Vim or for that Ortho Life for 9009, get on that. That's going to be good. It's going to be a good time.
Well, maybe I should get 9009 Ortho for my Prionic.
Maybe I should get it for my Plank, because Plank.
Sounds pretty cool.
Plank.
Future.
Speaking of the future of Top Clack wouldn't be possible without our fantastic sponsors. Yeah.
Yep.
Segways, A+.
Wow.
I know.
Classic Huey.
I'm a baller.
Classic Huey.
So, Brian, who is our first wonderful, amazing sponsor?
Well, we have several because, we are really cool people and they are really cool people. That helps us a lot. So we'll start with Novelkeys. Obviously, we've been talking about Novelkeys throughout the news segment, not only with this new giveaway that we just talked about, but also doing GMK Olivia up in there, which is always cool. There. Yep, Novelkeys obviously specializes more towards switches, but I mean he's branching out into a lot of other things as well. He's got T-shirts now. And he's obviously running group buys of key sets, which is cool. We've been really loving these box thick clicks, which I would tell you to go buy, but they're sold out
Yeah,
So
they sell
hopefully
really quick. He just restocked the other day.
Those sold out really fast, man. So I would love to tell you to go buy some of those, but you can't yet. But when they do, you should. But while you wait, you can pick up a big Switch, which is always really fun. These are super fun to play with, and they work too, which is always cool. So yeah, head over there, pick up a big Switch, buy a T-shirt. Shirts are pretty cool, or at least hover over the T-shirt picture so you can see what Mike looks like while he's wearing one. He is such a goofy dude.
He is a wonderful, wonderful individual.
But we love him. And then also, head over to the group buys section, pick up GMK Olivia, as well as maybe some of those Rama collab caps. Those are going to be sick. I really like the Rama caps, honestly. I've owned them. They're amazing. So definitely check that out. Make sure that you do the group buy in a separate order, though.
Yes, separate order. He will straight up cancel the order if you mix and match.
He says that like during every group buy, and people still a lot of people do it. So make sure you're not one of them. And then of course, you can use promo code TOPClack, should get you 5% off your entire order, regardless of what you're ordering. And I imagine that it even works with GMK Olivia group buy. Hopefully,
it does.
It does. Cool.
It does.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Huey. Who else do we have?
Well, thank you, TCBP, for the 100 bits. But next we have Zeal PC, who is awesome with those new Zelio switches. Like I said, Brian and I always say this. We like Telios. We like the new 67 and 78 gram weights for his tactiles. I've been using my, it's in the bag right now, my E6 with the blue Xylants a lot more recently. And as they break in, they're feeling pretty good. I'm pretty excited when I eventually get around to the review of this board. If I can fit it in my review queue someday, which I will. But man, it's pretty exciting. Round 10 now that Zeal's going on? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, first group buys, round 10. So check all that stuff out. You got some stabs, you got some 60% PCBs, you got a plethora of switches. So it is good to go.
You can pick up Telios while you're there as well. Currently my favorite MX linear at the moment.
Yes.
In terms of feel, they're incredibly smooth. Love them. Love that.
Next
and of course, sorry, go on.
Beast from the East, Z Frontier, running that Starry Nights set still. Running some awesome sets all the time. They have plenty of things in stock, whether you want Cherry Profile or others. I'm probably going to pick up a JTK black and white, white on black soon, because that's kind of like a classic set that can work with almost anything. Yeah.
Very, very versatile set.
So I'm probably gonna get around to that one of these days. Man, they're awesome. They send us these COD 610 reviews, even though the group I ended. Still check out the reviews, get a chance. Gets you a good idea of what they work with and the different things they might have going on moving forward. So check out Z Frontier when you get a chance. Last not least, what's up, Brian?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was going to also mention that they are. I believe they're the proxy for the Asian proxy for GMK Olivia.
They are.
If you're, I'm trying to find. Okay, it's just not first on the list. It's like the fifth thing. But if you are in, one of the places where Novelkeys isn't quite as shipping friendly to you, and Z Frontier is, you can pick up GMK Olivia from there. So pretty cool stuff. Last but not least, we have our good pals over at Impa Club, or kono.store, if you're looking for their store. Obviously, they've been making waves lately too, doing a lot of stuff. We talked about the Kira earlier, which just went up recently, and it's still waves in that. You can check out the Kira here. It'll take you to the Kickstarter, I think.
Yeah, probably. You should definitely check it out, as well as their interest checks for SA Troubled Minds, DSA Arcane Plague. They have their Hako Violets, which is currently running right now. They also have their Hako Trues and Clears, which are running out of stock pretty quick. And just this week, they've basically shipped out every single White Fox Kickstarter order, and they have limited quantities available in their store if you are interested in getting a White Fox. So check all those awesome things out.
Kira, man, starts at $180.
Yeah,
$180 starts at $180.
Yeah,
SMD RGB hot swappable switches.
Yeah,
PBT cherry profile caps, high profile case, underglow. It's value, man. It's good value. But while you're there, head over to the apparel section. Pick up a Top Clack shirt, man.
He's wearing one. It looks good. Look how good Brian looks.
Makes me look more attractive. Do you want to look more attractive?
Get a Top Clack shirt.
I mean, you're probably already more attractive than I am, but trust me, the top Clack shirt, they're also really comfortable. They're like $20.
It gives you like a solid +5 on your charisma rolls.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
like,
I really need that. On a side note, the white fox shirts are also really cool. I have one of those.
They're
as well.
really comfy. Like,
yeah, come on, man. Like you guys are trying to. You're getting new clothes. I know you are.
Yeah, yes.
Get a top Clack shirt. Get a white fox.
It's spring, you know. Gotta you know, hit up the spring season with some new threads. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm gonna insert a transition scene as we call our guest in, but I'm gonna mute real quick. I'm gonna take a 30-second break to use the restroom while you call the guest in. I'm gonna mute everything.
Yep.
Two, one. We're back, everyone.
Hooray!
And this
We're
time
back,
we're
everyone.
joined by Cassidy Williams. Cassidy, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So, for those in the community that might not know who you are, can you give us a little bit of background on who you are, how you got into the hobby, etc.?
Sure. So I'm Cassidy Williams. You can find me on Cassidy on like Twitter and stuff. What do? I code stuff. I'm a software engineer. And then at Amazon, I do a lot of stuff for Alexa, and I'll keep that pretty general there. But my like official title is head of developer voice programs. So I handle a lot of stuff with Alexa and helping people create skills for Alexa and helping figure out the direction where Alexa is going to go. So that's my day job. In terms of getting into keyboards, I was always really into the idea of keyboards, but didn't like get that into them until like a year and a half ago. And then I kind of just dove deep and started just soldering and making a ton. And I think I have like 8 right now. My keyboard of choice right now, I got like one of those Welfare 96 ones, and that has GMK Oblivion on there. My favorite switch right now is the box navies. Man, those are nice.
Yeah.
I have a plank with SA ice caps and the box navies. And I also have some box jades on another one too, which are pretty fun. Yeah, and I really like Vermillo boards too. They make some solid stuff.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say you're definitely a clicky kind of person?
I like tactile more than anything, but clicky is kind of a new thing for me that I'm starting to explore.
Okay. Are you able to use mechanical keyboards in your career?
Yeah, actually, people are pretty good about it. Usually, everybody wears headphones anyway because they're just like coding, doing their thing, so they don't complain about the noise. So
that was my next question. If you're sporting box navies in an office environment, that's a little aggressive.
Yeah. I kind of just apologize in advance, but then don't change myself, and they have to deal with it, and it works out.
Nice. So, what actually grabbed you into the hobby? What was what actually pulled you in from not being a mechanical keyboard enthusiast prior?
Oh man. I had a coworker once that had a super custom board. Like, he 3D printed the case. He had like the Matthias switches and 3D printed his own stems so he could put like cherry keycaps on it. And it was just so crazy custom. I was like, okay, I need in on that. And it turns out he's like run a few group buys and everything before. And he basically just word vomited everything about keyboards. And I just started to absorb and spend a lot of money. And that was kind of how it ended up happening. But yeah, I was always really into the idea of just kind of customizing my office to make it look cooler. And this was a fun way to do it.
That's fair. Do a lot of people in your office also use mechanical keyboards?
No, but I've acted as sort of an evangelist for them. At my previous company, I gave a few talks, and I think I got like half the office to buy them. So it worked out. And I have like an eternal PowerPoint that I have on my phone that I bring out in bars and that I talk about keyboards. I'm really fun at parties. And yeah, that's kind of just how I lure people in so I can have more friends who like spending ridiculous amounts of money on keyboards with me.
That's fair. We are no strangers to spending outrageous amounts of money. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your current project, the Scrabble XDA set. That's I believe it's still on mass drop currently.
Yes,
if I'm not
13
mistaken.
more days.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's got some time.
Still very relevant. So what was the thought process behind that? And also, if it was you that was working directly with Hasbro, I'd like to know like what that experience was like.
Yeah, so I wrote the story on Massdrop, and it sounds really silly, but I just had a dream that I was typing on a Scrabble board once, and then I woke up, I was like, that could work. And I just went on like that keyboard layout editor site and just kept playing with colors and manually moving keys around until I really liked it. And yeah, that's kind of how the set was born. And I realized that if I ever wanted to even run an interest check or try to share it, I would need to get permission to actually use it. And this was like early last summer, and from there it was just cold calling. I was going on Facebook in a bunch of different groups and on LinkedIn and just saying like, does anybody work for Hasbro, or does anybody know anyone who works for Hasbro, or things like that. And I ended up just going straight on Hasbro's site saying that I wanted to work on a project with them, and they rejected me at first. And so it was a lot of just straight cold calling people. And then eventually I found a girl who had a friend who had another friend who worked at Hasbro, who connected me to the right person who is an account executive, and he liked the idea. And so that is how it finally like started to become a little bit more real. And to him, I was just pitching, it's Scrabble, it's a keyboard. People who like to type also might like word games, right? And that was kind of the edgy pitch that I gave him. And he was really excited about the idea, and he thought that it just totally made sense, which was exciting. And yeah, then it was just a matter of kind of getting someone on board who would manufacture it. And that summer was the Seattle Mechanical Keyboard Meetup, and Yanbo and Duncan from Massdrop were there. And so I just showed them like my mock-up, and I said, hey, I might get a license for this. Can you guys help me out? And they got excited and said that they would be able to help me make it real. And so that's how like that relationship started to happen. And I worked with Hasbro mostly until there was a lot of legal speak about royalties and everything. And that's when I was able to insert Massdrop into the picture and be like, help me. And yeah, that ended up working out. And even though Hasbro is kind of taking a cut of the caps, we were able to kind of reduce the cost a bunch, so that way it was still affordable for people, and it could still get into people's hands. And one big thing that I really wanted for the set was to be able to have a keyboard element too, not just the caps, because as much as keyboard enthusiasts like to get the keycaps and everything, if I wanted to sell this to like my great aunt who really likes Scrabble, she would not understand just getting keycaps and then saying, wait, I have to get keycaps and a keyboard, and the whole idea of swapping and stuff. And so at first I had tried designing a keyboard and learned 3D modeling and everything, and then Yanbo was like, dude, if we do this, it's going to take like 2 years to make everything work out. And so we backtracked, and we were able to get like one of the WASD code keyboards as a separate drop for that too. And so now we're selling whole like keyboard bundles and then the keycaps themselves. And yeah, it's been exciting.
Awesome. So you've also teased a little bit about having like a prototype of a board
Yes.
to put the caps on. Can you talk a little bit about that and why people should want that?
So, fun thing. So one of the kits that you can get on Massdrop that you might not have seen is that you can get a Scrabble bag where it has the regulation number of tiles in it for or caps in it for a Scrabble game. And as I was brainstorming, at a fun party, I was realizing, well, what if you could play Scrabble on a keyboard? And so I ended up reaching out to Mike over at Novelkeys about switches, and then Jordy over at Strata KB, and we are putting together a project for a 15 by 15 switch tester Scrabble board. And so I got my prototype today for what the board is going to look like. What?
It's so big.
It's so big. I'm so excited. And I actually have pictures, if I can share my screen. I don't know if I can, but I can post pictures later. But it's going to have like red caps or red switches for all the triple word score, and like pink switches for all of the double word score and everything. And so it's going to have like a Scrabble look to it of switches, so you can play Scrabble, or you could just have a 15 by 15 switch tester. So I'm super excited about it. And that is going to go on sale probably this weekend. I'm really excited about that. And it'll be on the Novelkeys website.
Very, very cool. I'm just waiting for someone to like get that with the switches and hand wire the entire thing to do something.
Right? I think that'd be so funny. I was like brainstorming today, and I was like, what if we could apply some kind of machine learning where based on the number of caps you put on in their location, it'll try to guess what word you put, and started to get a little deep and realized I didn't want to do that. Well, but someone could.
We'll leave that to the smart people like you. Huey and I will just watch over that happily.
I feel like it'd just be hilarious if you went to like an actual Scrabble professional and it's like, hey, do you want to play Scrabble? And then you pull out that with all the keycaps.
Yeah. It'd be so fun. It's been really exciting to see some of the response from the actual Scrabble community. I ended up joining the National Association for Scrabble Players in America or something, just so I could share it. And then it turns out they were already sharing it, and they had found out about it before I could even share it. So that was exciting, and I've been able to talk to them about keyboards and stuff.
That's really neat. I'm not surprised there's a Scrabble community, but I'm very curious, like what those kind of people are like.
It's fascinating. I've been just like lurking in their forums and stuff, and they'll just post like pictures of games and being like, hey, look at this hanging T. They don't know what's coming to them and stuff like that. And it's really funny.
They probably think like similar things about us.
Probably, yeah.
Every hobbyist thinks other hobbies are strange.
Yeah. It just keeps going deeper and deeper.
Did you realize that we're here on a show about keyboards?
Yeah, there's probably a Scrabble show somewhere.
Scrabble esports wins, says Megaforce. That's like already a thing. Oh, I guess not esports, but like Scrabble, like competitions and tournaments and stuff. That's been a thing. Oh yeah,
there's like tons and tons of tournaments. It's fascinating. And one of the things that's been interesting with just making the set and selling it is different international Scrabble games have different scores for different letters. And so like myself and Oblotsky, we ended up just going through Wikipedia, seeing like which letters should go on which renders and everything for like the Nord kit and the UK kit and stuff. And there's so many different sets, but it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very whimsical set. I don't usually care for like XDA, but I think that obviously is the best choice for what you're trying to accomplish here.
For sure.
Very square.
Yeah. Yeah, and the price does seem pretty reasonable. So I'm actually, I didn't know Hasbro was taking a cut, although that doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you guys managed to keep the price down enough. That's pretty cool. That's definitely one of the benefits of going with Massdrop is they can hit those MOQs that help out a lot to get the price down as well.
Right, exactly, and I don't have to deal with the manufacturing side as much.
Yeah, or the legal side. Just, deal with this. All right. So is this kind of like your breakout project in the keyboard community, or have you worked on other things as well?
This kind of is my breakout project. I've done my own things for like friends and stuff before, but I've never done one for like the greater keyboard community. And so I'm really excited about that. I have many ideas that I've like put on the Keycap designers subreddit, hoping that people would like it. And I've never actually just taken the leap and done it. And so this has been a really fun project to start with. And I'm definitely hoping to do more. So we'll see.
Very cool. So do you have any kind of ideas on what you might like to tackle next if this wasn't too much work for you?
Oh man, believe me, if this could be my job, I would do it. So Hasbro owns a lot of brands, and they like me now, and so
that's a good thing.
Yeah, and so one thing that this is totally like in the future that isn't happening yet, but a thing that we're starting to talk about is some kind of Transformers keyboard thing. What I would love to do is make an actual keyboard that transforms, and I don't know how that would happen. If it could be like a case that turns into a wrist rest or something, I'm still like figuring that one out. But they've expressed some interest when I talked to them about it, and so TBD on that one. Yeah, and I have a few other sets that again I've liked, but I'm just gonna kind of hold off until Scrabble hubbub is all done and over with. But yeah, we'll see which ones come out soon.
A transforming keyboard. I'm trying to picture like how that would even correctly be accomplished.
I know it's hard to think about, but it could also be potentially really cool if it did work.
It sounds really expensive.
The only thing I can think of is like if you have a keyboard with like a top cover, and the top cover has a latch that goes up, and then when the cover of the keyboard when it's not in use,
right?
And the latch, and the inside of the latch is like a Transformers diorama or something.
Yeah, and like if there was some kind of top thing that again like the wrist rest thing, or even like a split keyboard funky thing could be kind of transforming. Yeah. I've got some experimenting and doodling to do in that regard.
Awesome. All right. Well, now's probably as good a time as any to move into a little Q&A action. So anybody in chat, now is the time. If you have questions, we in theory have answers. Make sure if you have questions, you do use the @TopClack tag so we can see them a lot easier. And and make sure you would get Cassidy some questions as well, because it's always easier to reach people live.
So while we wait for the questions to roll in, we definitely want to ask probably the most important Top Clack question. We probably haven't asked this in quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
The most important Top Clack question we ask every guest the first time they come on. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
All right, you were way too quick about that. I need your reasoning for waffles and your reasoning against pancakes.
Okay, so generally, I like both. I like the texture of waffles better. I will say I do have that keyboard waffle iron at home, so that definitely influenced my decision a little bit. But I like that there's a slight crunch to waffles if you do them right. And I like being able to put the syrup in different parts instead of just kind of splooshing it, unless you choose to sploosh it, I guess. But yeah, no, if I had to choose between them, I would choose waffles probably every time.
Okay. So do you pick like specific compartments for your syrup to go in on your waffles? Are you one of those people?
I'm one of those people. Like,
interesting.
The last time I had waffles, I definitely made like a pattern with strawberry stuff and whipped cream and everything. I like doing that. Again, very fun at parties. And yeah, it's tasty. It's good. I like waffles a lot.
All right. So we already do have several questions rolling in. So we'll start that off now. The Sky is 256K is asking, Alexa powered keyboard?
Okay, no, I'm actually trying so hard to make that happen. You have no idea.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I have a meeting next week about it, and that's probably secret. So doesn't leave this stream, but I definitely am trying to make that real.
Don't worry, this stream is not public.
I did just tweet about it. Crap.
It's like we have over 100 live viewers, and the VOD will get like 1,000 views. So
whatever.
Nobody's watching.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to make that a thing. I have a feeling most people are just generally amused by my love for keyboards here, rather than like, oh, this is totally a valid business option, but I'm definitely that's my main goal at work.
Only people in the community really get it.
No,
To everyone outside the community, we're all just insane, just absolutely nuts. And
how much does it cost? Yeah, my manager has had talks with me saying just like, you're spending this much money on these keyboards, but yes. So I'm definitely trying to make that happen. TBD.
Okay. Avid User 2 is asking for our comments on the SA Nuclear drop. Thoughts on it? Sold out in 15 minutes. SA Nuclear is ran before, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's ran before. It ran again in round 2. It sold out in 15 minutes. Went straight to sale on SP. They didn't make that many, and the ones that did make have had some issues. Donut Cables in our Discord posted some pics. Has some cracking effects, kind of like SA Lime as well, and scratches.
Interesting. Was this SA version done by Signature Plastics?
Yes, all row 3.
Okay, so it's not just Max he's having issues with the temperatures, I guess. Huh?
But I've only seen that with Donut Cats. I haven't seen anyone else's, but he says there are other people with those issues.
Okay. Lead Pamphlet is asking, since he just got to the stream, what is your favorite Switch? I imagine that's for Cassidy.
Oh, my favorite Switch. Dang. Tactile, I really like my 65G Zelios, the tactile ones, and then the clicky ones, the box navies. And then I have one board with linears, and it's an MX Speed, and that one I kind of just bring because it's generally quiet compared to my other boards.
All right, fair enough. Captain S1S is asking, how did you end up at the Alexa project? Obviously, you don't have to answer anything you don't want to answer. Just
that's fine.
I forgot to tell you that earlier, but answer whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. How did I end up at Alexa? It's kind of a long and winding story of my career, and we'll have to talk about it over a drink sometime. But I ended up at Alexa working on this particular team because I was recruited. And a little bit more context, my sister is also a software engineer working on Alexa, doing a lot of talks and cool things for Alexa. And she had heard about the role that they were looking for, which is my now position. And she was just like, hey, do you know who my sister is? And it turns out they had like followed me on Twitter or something. They're just like, oh, you're related. And then they asked if I could interview with them, and after resisting for like 5 months because I was getting married, I interviewed and liked it, and so that is how I ended up here.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. D0 Fed is asking, are you guys planning to go to KeyCon in 2018 in Pittsburgh? We have no concrete plans to go to KeyCon at the moment, but it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. I'll say this much. Brian could possibly go, but he's not much of a traveler. I could possibly go.
I hate traveling.
I have a life to live. Sometimes I might go. I'm actually 50-50.
One of us might go. Both of us probably not.
Yeah, both of us probably not. One of us maybe.
We might be able to afford one of us to go, but there's no way we can both go. But I don't know. We'll see. That's in June, right? It's actually kind of coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anything's possible. Gert Tractor is asking. Sorry, what are you?
I was like, how about you, Cassie? I know you've gone to the Seattle meetups. Have you been interested in going to other meetups across the U.S., either whether it's an upcoming Northern California meetup, KeyCon, or any of the larger regional meetups?
I really wanted to go to the Vancouver one, but I realized that it was last week instead of this weekend, so missed that. I have some trips planned for San Francisco for work, and so I'm trying to figure out if I can sync it up with one of their future meetups. Haven't been to KeyCon yet, but I always observe from afar, and I'm hoping I can go at some point.
All right. Gert Tractor is providing a transforming keyboard idea.
Ooh.
Says, how about some kind of ortho modular board with magnetic connectors that could work in various orientations for different workflows and stuff?
I like that.
Ooh, I like that. The technology will be hard to make, but I really like that. Yeah, I could see that working, but you'd have to establish some kind of way of determining the orientation that it's stuck on. That could be interesting. I like that.
You can determine orientation by just always assuming USB plug goes away from you.
That's true. No, but like if you like modularized it and put like this side of it on this side and things like that, you would have to figure out a way to identify the magnets or whatever you use. Maybe if you had like some kind of really near field beacons or something, that'd be interesting.
Okay. NGB09229 is asking, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
CEO! We'll see.
All right. Confidence and dreams.
Yeah. I want to be in charge of something. We'll see if it's in charge of something that I own or if I take over Jeff Bezos' job. We'll see.
Watch out, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, comment.
All right. So I don't know if that question was targeted at anyone, but I guess we can all answer it.
Oh, yeah, you guys too.
Hopefully doing some kind of like top clack stuff. Duh. You know, I don't see myself ever getting out of keyboards. So
yeah, neither do I.
You know, hopefully this can keep progressing the way it has been, and it can turn into something a little bit more full time in some way or format.
Yeah, it's
still a ways out, but it's not impossible.
10 years, that's really hard to say, because like even now I'm always looking at different ways I can improve myself, like in keyboards and in career. Like in a few months, I might move across the country for another job. I don't know yet.
Interesting.
So like,
nice.
I don't even know what's happening in a few months. In 10 years, hopefully even better things.
Yeah. All right. Bug Whisperer is asking, is there an old key set you would like to see get Hiragana Sub-Legend set added retroactively? Interesting. So an old key set that's already been ran. What do we want seen get the Hiragana Sub-Legend treatment, which has been pretty common lately. It's been happening a lot more.
Dolsh.
I could see that.
Dolsh, that could work. Yeah. Yeah. Be down for Dolsh, or just like Cyan or something. Like I don't know, any of my favorite key sets, I guess, by default. D0 Fed is asking a question for Cassidy. What is her daily driver, and then favorite switch, etc.?
Let's see. Well, favorite switch I talked about already. My current daily driver, it's at work, I have, again, my Welfare 96 board. It has box brown switches and GMK Oblivion. And then at home, I have, I forget what kind of board it is, but it's a 100% keyboard with SA camping and cherry brown switches. But I kind of have a rotation going, and so that is just currently.
Oh, trust me, we know that.
Yes.
All right. Avid User 2 is asking another question for you. Do you like Topre? If so, which Topre boards do you prefer?
Okay, I do. I got an HHKB at one point, but I didn't like the bottom row. I like having more buttons on the bottom row, which is what has been holding me back from getting a lot of the 60% lately. But I really liked it. If I could have a layout that's more like a White Fox type layout, some kind of 65% layout with Topre switches, or with some of the BKU Redux domes. I was next to someone at the Seattle meetup that had heavies, and they were so nice. And if I could get a board with those, that would be great. And so maybe one of the Leopold boards or something.
Okay. Well, follow-up question for me, because you might not have seen this, but have you seen the Japanese layout HHKB?
I'm not sure.
It has a lot of bottom row keys,
maybe
including arrow keys and a slightly smaller space bar.
I didn't really like that one as much.
All right, fair enough then. Texas Breakfast is asking, did you all get your box royal samples? If so, where do they fall in comparison to Holy Pandas? Huey and I both got some. I got a few right here.
No official comment until we have a full board built with them.
Yeah. We addressed this on, I think, our last Keyboard Chore stream, if any of you were there. But it's, like Huey said, it's too early to tell. Nobody has it in a full board yet. Huey will have a full board of them in the very near future, and that will help a lot, because then we'll be able to know how it correlates to that as well. But so far, it feels... I like the feel a lot. I think it feels really good. It does not feel exactly like a Holy Panda. It is definitely a little bit different, but it's still very nice, and I have high hopes for it. He did a pretty good job, and I think these are going to be pretty popular in the community. Dotwald11 is asking Cassidy, could you please give us a bit of history about yourself, maybe the college you attended or where you were from?
And also my social security number and my mother's maiden name. So let's see, I'm from Chicago. I went to school at Iowa State University, and I have been coding for a very, very long time. And most people ask about my coding story, and really briefly, I was walking home from school in 8th grade, and I heard someone say, check out my website. And I was like, you can have one of those. I went home and started looking up how to make a website. I started coding a ton then, and I've been coding ever since. And that is my brief history.
Nice. Oh my God, Twitch, please. Crunchy Meatloaf is asking thoughts on GMK Necro. So if anybody remembers, the first time GMK Necro attempted to run, it failed. I actually liked the colorway a lot.
I like it, but I haven't seen very consistent renders yet, so I don't trust it yet. I want to see a real thing, and then I can decide if I want it at some point.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Huey?
I want to like it, but like the competition is so stiff. I'd get GMK Olivia before Necro. I'd get GMK Doom also running right now before Necro. Like this competition is so tough. I want to like it.
That's always coming out, man.
I want to like it, but there's things I like more, and that's always going to be the issue.
Abeduzer2 is asking Cassidy, have you joined any Geek Hat group buys?
I don't think I have. I've mostly done Reddit ones, but a lot of the ones that I've done on Reddit have been like cross-posted on Geek Hack, so technically I'm more of a lurker on Geek Hack.
A lot of group buys wind up going both places. So.
Yeah. I more just like observe on Geek Hack and then talk more on Reddit.
Makes sense. This guy is 56K is asking Cassidy, of all of your boards you own, what is your favorite board or the most meaningful board?
Ooh. So my most meaningful board is the first one that I put together myself, and it's a Centrac 60% keyboard with Gatoron greens and DSA overcast. And that was my first board I ever put together, and that one I love. And the soldering is not great on it, but that's my baby. And my like newest favorite that I'm still kind of deciding isn't my favorite is it's a Clue board, and I have DSA Royal Navy on it, and the switches. So they're advertised as browns, but they feel a lot more tactile than all of my other browns. So I don't know if the previous owner modified them in some way, but they're really, really tactile browns. Like they're almost more tactile than my Zelios. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I like them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dilbert Programmer is asking Cassidy, what programming languages do you primarily use?
Ooh, lately I'm all about JavaScript. I was an early employee at Venmo, if any of you use Venmo, and I was a back-end engineer there, and I mostly did Python and Django, but ever since I've kind of seen the light of front-end development and like it a lot more, and so I've mostly been doing JavaScript and React, but I've also dabbled in like Java and C# and random crap, but JavaScript's kind of my way to go.
All right. My man Mart is asking Cassidy, does your husband love keyboards, or do you get an eye roll every time you talk about it like me?
I have lured him in a little bit. He's
a little bit,
yeah. He comes to the meetups with me, but he brings like our Nintendo Switch, and he'll say, "Hey, check out this Switch," and make lots of lame jokes about it. But yeah, he likes keyboards. He always likes to tell people, "Well, I had a mechanical keyboard before she did," because he has like one of those like obnoxious gaming keyboards. But he recently got a Plank, and his Night Fox is coming, so he's into them too. Not as much as me, but he's into them.
I'm gonna address Megaforce, since I usually ignore his questions. Do you love Amelia? No.
No, that's a trash waifu, Adam. Stop it.
Yeah, I love Rem. Sorry, we're weebs. The Kunon is asking, Quakums, are you wearing traditionally wrap around IEMs in the opposite ears to make them fit the ear properly? I don't know. I opened these 5 minutes before we started the stream, and I was like, I'm just going to try them out. So I plugged them in, and I put them in the way I thought they were supposed to go in. But no, am I using them properly? I don't know. Probably not. I'll figure that out after the stream, because the stream is more important right now to me. Muffin Smasher is asking, is Cassidy buying the M60? If so, which color? So that's the new very premium Rama.
Man, so quick story. There's like a speech club at Amazon, and I had to do an improv speech yesterday. And the topic they gave me were, if we gave you $10,000 right now, what would you spend it on? And I talked about getting a Sage Rama M60 keyboard, and people laughed and had no idea what I was talking about. But man, I would get the Sage Rama if I could, but dang, that's pricey. So maybe some other day.
Yeah. Well, it's the way it goes. Oblowski is asking, Cassidy, tabs or spaces?
I have tab mapped to 2 spaces. So I guess spaces, but I still use tab.
Zim1993 is asking, Cassidy, what is your favorite anime?
Okay, I need to... So my husband is Korean and has lots and lots of animes that he wants me to watch, but I haven't actually watched a lot. I've watched Pokemon, which some people are just like, that counts, and some people say, no, you don't count. So the one that I have liked so far that he's showed me is One Punch Man.
Nice. That's a fun one. Quick,
yeah,
short, fun one.
He has a very long list for me that I just need to get through, so TBD.
Gotcha. Thuggy512 is asking again about your programming languages, but we already covered that just a few moments ago, so you can always check that out in the VOD if you wanted to answer
Tweet
that
me
question.
Or something.
Or just bother Cassidy somewhere. D0 Fed is asking, Cassidy, to RGB or not to RGB?
So, not. I have RGB on some of my boards, but I almost always have it turned off because I get distracted. I usually like put my keyboards on for show, but then when I'm typing, I'm not actually really looking at them that much, and so I usually don't put it in.
Gotcha. Zim1993, the same person that asked about anime, asked, how many Fortnite wins do you have?
Man, Fortnite. I have never actually won a match, but I've gotten so close. Like in the past like 2 days, I've been in like the top 3 or 4 a few times. But man, I cannot win. I always get so close. I would say I'm in the top 25, like 70% of the time, and top 10 probably like 30% of the time. Yeah, I don't have any wins yet. I don't want to talk about it.
We won't bring up that very sad topic. This guy is 256K is asking, Cassidy, do you work with JavaScript with Alexa?
Yes, I do. Short answer.
Nice. We like short answers. Avenues2 is asking, Cassidy, do you have any LANs/playing games on work at Amazon?
No. They don't do them as much. I'm trying to find like a good gaming community here. I've mostly been like just kind of going to socials and mentioning like a game and seeing which people respond. A lot of the people that I work around are like they have families and stuff, and so they go home after work. So I need to find like the nerdy kids who will want to play with me. Still working on that.
Christmas Kane is asking, how many people are on the Alexa team?
I don't know, but
Fair
a
enough.
lot.
Dixie Mac is asking, do you own any of the Alexa competitors?
I don't. Unless you count an iPhone that has Siri on it, but I don't really count Siri. So, yeah.
That's fair. B the Zebra is asking, was Cassidy in Toastmasters? I don't even know what that is.
Yes. Yes, I was.
Oh, nice.
Toastmasters was the club that I mentioned that I was in yesterday, but I don't know why.
Huh. Gert Tractor is asking, what kind of custom key maps have you come up with? Like the tab equals double space thing. Any other favorite mappings you can't do without?
I always do function M as mute, and then like the 2 carets as volume up and volume down. Let me think. I always map caps lock to control. I use Vim a lot when I'm coding, and I like to have most things on the home row, so I always do control for the HKJL stuff. I'm trying to think what other ones I do. Those are the ones that I always do. So that answers that question.
Geo is... He gets his wording very wrong here, but I think what he's trying to ask is, has Cassidy joined the most lit Discord of all time, meaning the Top Clack Discord?
Yes.
Yeah.
I tend to mute notifications during the workday, otherwise I'd get nothing done, but I'm there.
Yep.
It's pretty active.
Yeah.
Zim1993 is asking Cassidy, what do you think of 1800 and 1800 compact layouts?
I don't mind them, but I probably wouldn't get it for myself.
Fair enough. Megaforce is asking, what's your favorite operator in Rainbow Six?
What?
So it's Rainbow Six is some other game.
Oh, okay.
I think they're trying to see what games you play, basically. I think it's what's happening.
Now.
They're just trolling,
You're a real
man.
gamer girl.
So they're just trolling. Avid User 2 is asking you, though, what layouts do you prefer on keyboards?
I really like 60%. If I can, like, program the heck out of it, because I like to add a lot of different things to it, which is why I wasn't a huge fan of the HHKB. Otherwise, I do really like my 96 key, and I like 65% if I'm going to do something without a numpad and a little thing in between. I like a lot of things.
I do want to add, if you ever want to revisit the HHKB, you should get a Hasu controller so you can actually remap all of the HHKB.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like if I do get another one, I would want to put in like the Redux domes and kind of just mod the crap out of it. So probably someday.
All right, we're gonna try to start speeding through some of these questions now because there are still some left. I'm gonna skip the ones that are kind of trolly, which there are a couple. So sorry about that. We don't always have the time to troll. But Gert Tractor is asking, is human-computer interaction something you're really passionate about? Where do you think the tech will take us in the coming years?
Yes, I think HCI is a huge thing, and the tech will take us to many magical places. That is a very, very vague answer, but I think it's just going to be a lot more invisible technology. Like, something that I like about Alexa is, like, if I want to set an alarm or something, I don't have to actually think about it. I can just say, Alexa, wake me up at 7:30 and not have to think about it anymore. I think that kind of line between technologies is going to get very, very thin, and a lot more things will be nuanced as things are much more integrated. The whole Internet of Things is definitely going to get bigger and bigger for sure.
Jimmy Rowland is asking, how do you feel about what China did to the Cortana program?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know enough about Microsoft.
Fair enough. Avid User 2 is asking your thoughts on SA Profile versus GMK.
I like SA a lot, but mostly when it's sculpted. That being said, I have like a few non-sculpted essays that I do like. I only have one GMK set, and that's Oblivion. And I like it, and I feel like that would be better for me at work. But then at home, I kind of like to go a little crazy with the essay sets.
Texas Breakfast is asking, are you a fan of artisans? If so, do you have a favorite sculpt?
I do like artisans. I really like the shishi. I think it's really pretty, and I have not been able to get my hands on that. I only have one artisan, and it's a Fugo, and I won it in a raffle. Otherwise, I usually can't afford them.
Yeah, it's man. If you guys think keyboards are bad, some artisans, bro.
Yeah, I really want to try to make them, but I don't know if I'm like artfully skilled enough. So I might try that on my own, and eventually, if I'm happy with it, I'll push some buys out.
B the Zebra is asking, have you done your icebreaker speech? I talked about keyboards in mine.
Oh, for Toastmasters. Okay. I have not. I've only been to Toastmasters twice, and I've only done the improv talks, and both times I talked about keyboards. So there you go.
Lead Pamphlet is asking, if you can only choose one thing to eat every day, what would you eat?
Ooh. Crap.
That's a bad thing to eat. You shouldn't eat that every day.
Yes, that is true. I would probably eat caprese salad with bread.
Caprese, all right, very nice.
Yeah, caprese, that's the fancy.
That's the Italian in me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I've got that in me too, but I'm also from Chicago where we pronounce things weirdly.
True.
And, yeah.
Took a while for me to break my accent.
Yeah.
I'm from Philly.
Yeah.
All right. Geo is asking, did any of us get a Tokyo 60? So I have the prototype still. I actually have it next to me of the Tokyo 60. And as far as I'm aware, Massdrop is still sending me an actual production unit for review, so I can get like the PCB and stuff there. That's what I asked for at least, and hopefully they will give me that.
I did not join. I am going to ask very nicely if they would also give me a review unit so I can do an awesome dual review with Brian like we did for the COD 67, because that turned out pretty well.
Yeah. Give me things. I'll review them.
Yeah. Send me stuff. That's the only way I can get keyboards, because otherwise I'm not getting it. Dixie Mac is asking, do you think Amazon is where you'd want to stay long term, or do you have bigger goals?
I don't know yet. I'm only a month and a half into this job. I've mostly done startups before this. So this is my first really big company. And I like it so far, but I'm definitely getting used to the big company aspect. Like, my ultimate dream is to own some kind of maker company where I can just like make chairs and keyboards and cool things. But until that point, someday when the hobby can sustain me, I will be working at software companies. So,
you know, when you said chairs and keyboards, for some reason I'm imagining like the school desks with like the flip out desks, and then a mechanical keyboard built into
and
that.
It's a keyboard.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh man, genius.
Avid User 2 is asking, will we ever get Morgan Freeman's voice with Alexa functionality?
I don't know. And I'll leave it at that.
The Skies 256K is asking, Cassidy, did you see the Tacotron computer voice thingy? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Tacotron.
Tacotron?
Tacotron.
I don't think I did. I'll Google it later.
Okay. Zim is asking, what do you think will come after keyboards? I have an odd question.
Keyboards are endgame, man. Nothing will come after keyboards.
Nothing. That's it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I can't. I'm never leaving this hobby, man. HHKB for Life is asking, do you like vintage switches or boards at all?
Meh. I think they're cool. I appreciate them, but I don't like go out of my way for them.
All right. God, you guys need to stop trolling, man. Sorry, trying to catch up here. All right, that's actually it. Although I did have one question for you. What was it like being like featured? So if I think I'm getting this right, you were featured in Glamour magazine for being one of 35 women under 35 changing the tech industry. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was
That
Okay,
was a
so
funny
to me,
catchy title.
that seems like a pretty interesting accomplishment, and I was curious to get your thoughts on like what that was kind of like, and you know how that made you feel.
Yeah, no, it made me feel super. It made me feel super important, and I definitely had a huge ego boost for a while. It was great. Um, I I was super honored when that happened. I definitely wasn't expecting it. They had reached out to me on Twitter actually, and they're just like, "Hey, just so you know, you've been nominated for this, and you're probably going to get it." And I was like, "What?" And then they said that they were going to come to my office and just do like a quick picture, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll tell my office manager." And I thought it would be like 2 people, and it ended up being a crew of 10 with tons of fancy cameras and lighting, and they brought in like tons of clothes and shoes. There were like 50 clothes and shoes, and it was like Devil Wears Prada. Like the lady would say, "Where are the Jimmy Choo shoes?" And she would say, "Oh, I forgot them, but we have these." And she's like, "Buy me some Jimmy shoes." And the girl just would run away to buy Jimmy Choo shoes. And we had so many. It was a fascinating like insight. And as they were doing like my fancy makeup and everything, they were talking about like facial regimens. And it was such a fascinating insight into the world of fashion. They were talking about how they put like strawberry jelly on their face at night, and then they wake up by putting tea bags on their eyes and stuff to look youthful. And I was like, that sounds gross, but
Sounds like a lot of effort.
yeah. And then meanwhile, all my coworkers were just like, "Can we use the conference room?" And yeah, that was an experience. It was really, really fun, and I definitely bought many copies of that magazine to share with family and friends. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Nice. All right, we're gonna follow up with just a 2-part question here. But yeah, then we'll close out here. Avid User 2 is asking, do you modify switches at all, like spring swaps, lube, switch film, stuff like that?
I have one board with lubed switches, and I will never do that again. Too much time.
No.
Yeah.
He also follows up with, I haven't seen the photo of that coverage of Glamour, but I hope you sneaked a keyboard in the pic.
No, they did a lot of like fancy things where they're just like put the laptop near your face and stuff like that. It was definitely like very posed, and I was not able to get a keyboard in. Maybe someday, maybe in the next Vogue shoot or something.
In the next major magazine I'm in.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's gonna close us out. Cassidy, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Having me.
A lot. And
so
hope
fun.
everyone had a good time.
Keep an eye out for the Scrabble keyboard key switch
For
thingy.
sure.
And that's going to be on Novelkeys, correct?
Yes, and then if you want the Scrabble bag, that's on Masterdrop.
Cool. So, as usual, thank you once again. Thanks to all the viewers that came out. We had a pretty high viewer count today, as we have lately, so we definitely appreciate that. Our Discord link and our YouTube channel are both below the stream. We'd really appreciate if you joined both of those things. That helps us out a lot. We've been gaining YouTube viewers like crazy, and our Discord is always growing. So join the family, guys. Join the family. All right.
Well, until next time, there's no castle design stream this week, so there won't be anything tomorrow night. There might be keyboard chores with Brian and I. We'll see, depending on what chores we have to do. Or later this weekend. But until then, keep your eye out on more Top Clack videos coming on our YouTube channel very soon, hopefully, depending on how productive I get. And other than that, I hope to see you guys every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. We have actually our guest list like finalized for the next month of episodes.
Yeah, it's going to be hectic for a while, guys. But
yeah.
A lot of you guys like guests, so be happy about that.
Cassie, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. We will catch everyone next week.
See you later.